Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
And hello, America. Happy President's Day. By the way, a little bit later on, we'll do some President's Day trivia for you. A chance to win a copy of one of my latest books. So we'll do that a little bit later this hour. We'll also be taking your calls, 844-747-8868. Well, I want to go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line, where I'm always glad to have Congressman Greg Steube drop by from the 17th Congressional District over in Florida. Also on the House Judiciary Committee, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, Congressman, just how are you doing? I know you took that big fall last month. How are you on the road to recovery?
I'm doing much better. My head is completely clear. The ligaments in my neck are pretty much healed. It's just some soreness there. The doctors are going to give me a clear to fly early March because I still have clotting in my lungs, which is why I haven't been able to go to D.C. because I can't physically get on a plane. And then I've got March 1st is a big X-ray on my hip that I cracked. And if that bone has healed, then I can start getting weight bearing again. You know, now I feel good, but I can't put any weight on my right side, so I'm bound to crutches or a wheelchair. So now I'm just frustrated because, you can't physically do anything. You got to rely on people to carry your book for you and your drink and everything else. But other than that, well on the way to recovery. Looking forward to March 1st getting a good X-ray on the pelvis bone, and then I should be. The plan right now is to be in D.C. the week of the 22nd, which is the second week of D.C. week up there in Washington. So looking forward to getting back to work.
Well, you got a lot of people out there across the country praying for you, and we're just glad you're on the mend there, and looking forward to getting you back up on Capitol Hill.
Well, and those prayers have been just a huge blessing to me. I don't think I would physically be where I am. It'd take me a long time to explain what happened, but God's hand was all over it. I don't think I would physically be here today if it wasn't for the Lord and his blessings and his grace, and all of those prayers have been very well taken, and I appreciate that.
All right. Well, Congressman, you just take it easy and do what the doctors tell you, and they'll get you back lickety-split. I want to start out, speaking of faith, you have been at the forefront of this effort to demand answers from the FBI and their targeting of Catholics in America. What's going on?
Yeah, there was this memo leaked out by a memo that we obtained. I think it was a whistleblower that leaked the actual memo where they're targeting people of faith. And we have a completely politicized Justice Department, FBI, intelligence system. I mean, dating back to them surveilling on the Trump campaign and all the Russia collusion hoax that came to our country for years. The mainstream media lied to the American people. Democrats lied to the American people, and they had no evidence of that going on. So we have corruption at the highest levels of our government, and it is time for us, now that we have the majority, to start investigating this. And this is just another piece of this, and it just goes to show you the left's hostility towards faith and the left's hostility towards Christians, because they don't agree that the beliefs that we have on life and that we shouldn't have abortions willy-nilly. They don't believe all of these things. So the easiest thing to do is to designate us as terrorists and to investigate us and try to bully us and try to control our speech. And that's exactly what's going on. That's what the memo revealed. And I think I look forward to Jim Jordan. I'm on the Select Committee on Weaponization, the DOJ and the FBI, and this is absolutely something that we will be looking at.
It reminded me of a story I covered back when I was at Fox News during the Obama years. And they sent out a memorandum to military officers telling them to watch out for anyone under their command that might be supporters of the Family Research Council and a lot of these conservative religious organizations, evangelical groups, the going after Billy Graham and his organization. They left the Catholics alone that time, but it just reminds me now this is the same kind of targeting that happened during the Obama years.
Yeah, we're in a spiritual battle, and the other side wants to take out anything they can, and if they can try to bully you and make you feel like you can't be outgoing with your faith or your positions on issues and try to brainwash you into that this is the way that America should be, and it's not. The majority of America is Christian. The majority of Americans don't believe that you should be able to euthanize a child on its birthday. There's a lot of beliefs inherently that Americans have, and they want to try to tamp that down wherever they can control that. And they know that they can use the weapons of the Intelligence Bureau, the FBI, to basically bully and scare people into doing what they want them to do, from coming after pastors. For IRS was going after conservative and religious organizations. Trump was able to change some of the rules to allow pastors to actually say, I am Pastor such and such, and I support Greg Steube because he believes what I believe. Before, Obama's IRS would try to take their not-for-profit status away. So they use any tool that they can to try to bully and thwart your speech and your positions on things. But the more and more that we bring these type of issues before the American people, the majority of Americans don't think that this is right. The majority of Americans don't think that the FBI should be targeting people of faith simply because of what they believe. That is not American. It's completely un-American, and using the government to accomplish those purposes makes people very angry. So I think the very least the House has a duty to the American people to bring all this information before them so that in 2024 they can make that decision who's the best to lead our country.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are doing that. And when we got word that they were staging raids on the homes of these Catholic pro-life leaders, that was the moment for me when, so I'm so glad that you guys are taking care of business up there. Congressman, I also want to bring your attention to the surprise visit that Biden made to Ukraine. And we just had Congressman Bill Johnson, who actually represents East Palestine, Ohio. He said this is really a slap in the face. The president won't go to East Palestine, but he'll hop on Air Force One and head over to Ukraine.
Yeah, it's very telling, isn't it? America last, Ukraine first in the Biden administration. You have Americans who are suffering, and you have the ability from this administration to help them through FEMA, to help them through the Department of Transportation, to deal with the issues that the Ohioans are dealing with in East Palestine. And he flies to Ukraine to give them another $500 million of our taxpayer dollars to bring it up to over $110 billion that we have given to Ukraine for this endless war against Russia. And that's more than the annual budget of Florida. So to run the government of Florida, the transportation, all of that in Florida at the state level, it's right at that same level, the amount of money that we've given to Ukraine. So it shows the priorities of this administration. They don't care about the southern border. They don't care about the safety and security of the American people. They don't care about our number one adversaries taking surveillance balloons over our country. They care more about going to Ukraine and giving them more money than helping people who are in serious need right there in East Palestine.
Well, Congressman, we're going to leave it there. We really appreciate your great work, and all the best to you as you recover. And again, I know our audience, among millions of others that are praying for a speedy recovery.
Well, I thank you very much for those prayers. God bless.
All right, Congressman Greg Steube, everybody, on the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line.